Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready.
Today we're heading to East Africa, early 20th century. Tanganyika, to be exact, modern-day Tanzania.
Buckle up, it's gonna be a ride.
That's an understatement. We're talking about the Maji Maji uprising. Incredible story of resistance against, well, pretty brutal colonialism. Yeah.
German colonialism.
Right. Germany, relatively new to the whole empire-building game, decides they want a piece of the African cake.
Scramble for Africa, as they called it.
So they set up shop in Tanganyika. But their idea of settling in, forced labor, crushing taxes, and making the locals grow cotton instead of, food.
Basic necessities, yeah.
And leading this whole operation. Dr. Carl Peters. Ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah. Milkono Wadamu, the man with blood on his hands.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Not exactly the welcoming committee you'd want, right?
No, not at all. Actually, Peters exemplifies a lot of what was wrong with colonialism in that era. Well, on the surface, it's all civilizing missions, uplifting the natives. But the reality, violence, exploitation, complete disregard for existing cultures and systems.
So basically, a whole lot of hypocrisy going on.
Exactly.
And this hypocrisy fuels the fire, so to speak. Then, in 1905, a drought hits. Like a really bad one.
Pushed an already struggling population to the breaking point.
Enter Kinji spiritual leader. And he brings with him this idea of Maji Maji.
Sacred water.
Supposed to protect warriors from bullets. Sounds almost like a superhero origin story, right?
It had that kind of power symbolically. Think about it. This wasn't just some local superstition. It spread like wildfire, uniting over 20 different ethnic groups.
Wow, 20. That's huge.
Right. Think about the context. The scramble for Africa at the Berlin Conference in 1885. European powers basically just drew lines on a map, dividing up the continent amongst themselves.
Paying zero attention to the people actually living there.
Exactly. So to see these diverse groups who historically had their own conflicts and rivalries, to see them come together under this Maji Maji belief, it speaks volumes about the unifying power of a shared struggle.
Yeah, a common enemy, I guess.
Absolutely.
But this belief in Maji Maji, wasn't it, couldn't it be seen as a bit of a double-edged sword?
How so?
Well, on one hand, it gives them courage, right? This almost supernatural belief in their own protection. But on the other hand, didn't it also maybe lead them to underestimate the German firepower?
You're hitting on a really crucial point there. The initial successes of the rebellion, attacking outposts, disrupting that forced cotton production, those were fueled by that unwavering faith in Maji Maji. But as the conflict escalated, that faith might have also contributed to, let's say, a miscalculation of the technological gap.
A miscalculation that leads us to August 1905, the battle at Mahenge. Thousands of Maji Maji warriors charging a heavily fortified German position.
Armed mostly with spears and arrows against machine guns and cannons.
David versus Goliath, almost.
Tragically, yeah. The stronghold held. And the German response was brutal. What followed was a wave of reprisals, massacres, scorched earth tactics.
The massacre of the Ngoni people in October 1905, that was particularly horrific.
Absolutely. The Germans burned villages, destroyed crops, deliberately used famine as a weapon. It's estimated that over 75,000 Africans died during the uprising.
75,000. It's hard to even comprehend a number like that.
Yeah, the human cost was immense.
So the Maji Maji uprising ultimately failed to overthrow German rule. But can we say it had any lasting impact?
Definitely. The scale of the rebellion, the sheer ferocity of the resistance, it forced Germany to reassess some of its policies. Now, how much of that was genuine concern versus just realizing their brutality was backfiring? That's debatable.
Sure, like a PR move almost.
Could be, but I think the real legacy of Maji Maji lies in its symbolic power. It became a symbol of resistance against colonial oppression, not just in Tanganyika, but across Africa. A beacon of hope, a testament to the human desire for freedom and dignity, even when facing seemingly impossible odds.
And it makes you think, right, these struggles for freedom, for justice, they're still happening today, all over the world. And in a way, they're all connected to the legacy of those Maji Maji warriors. It's a legacy of courage, of defiance, of refusing to be silenced. Makes you wonder, what would Kinji Ngoyle think if he could see the world today?
Makes you wonder.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.